Okay, so harder combining like terms. This is going to be a mix of the exponent rules that we did the last time. So I have a lot of distributing to do here. I have to do it here, have to do it here, and I have to collect. So I'm going to do y times y. This is y to the first and y to the first. When you multiply letters with powers, but there's no powers. There are invisible ones there. Y to the 1 times y to the 1. Y times y is y squared. And then I do y times 2. Boom. Remember, you got to hop the fence and say hello to everybody in the party, even if you don't like them. Now I'm going to do -4 times y squared. Then I'm going to do -4 times -7. And remember, minus times a minus is a positive because 2 wrongs make a right. 4 times 7, 28. Ooh, it's a big number. And then I have this y hanging out and waiting. I have 3y squared hanging out and waiting. And then I have a -5 hanging out and waiting. Now I want to put them together. So I got to take the dudes that look the same. I got to take all the dudes that have the y squared. Well, there they are. I have 3 of them. I have 1y squared, -4y squareds, and 3y squareds. Let me put together the plus ones first. Right? There's a 1 there. 1 times 1 is 1. You get a 1 here. So there's 1, and 3 more is 4. Oh man, look what's gonna happen. Oh crap. Okay. So those are the y squareds. I'm not done yet. Now I'm going to do the y's. Let's see, I have there. I have there. Not many, right? So I have 2 y's and 1 y. That's 3 y's. Don't put 3y squared there. You're going to F up the whole question. Remember, if you have 2 yams and another yam, you have 3 yams. You don't have a yam squared. I don't know what a yam squared is, right? So the letter doesn't change. You add the numbers in the front. But there's no 1 there. Put it there. All right, there's an invisible 1. And then I have the numbers. So I have a 28, take away 5. 28 take away 5 is 23. Now, the problem was right here. I had 3y squareds, and I gave away 4. I mean, I have 4y squareds, and I gave away 4. So they're gone. If you had 4y squareds, and I took 4y squareds from you, you have nothing. So all I get at the end of this question is that you just get 3y plus 23. This y squared, right? Y squared take away 4 is -3. -3y squared plus 3y squared is 0. I mean, no matter how you do it, you're gonna get 0. The y squareds cross out completely. This happens. I'm combining like terms. This disappeared. I had 2 y's and 1 y, that gave me 3 y's, and I had 28 take away 5. So that's that. All right, so second, harder combining. This one is significantly nastier than the first one I just worked. There are a lot of exponent rules that you have to deal with here. And there's a lot of distributing. This one is pretty straightforward. You're just multiplying these 2 dudes together. If you want to put a little 1 here, put a little 1 there. You're going to do 7 times 1, and you get a 7. Don't do nothing funky. Don't go crazy. X times x is x squared. Why? Because this is x to the 1, and this is x to the 1, and you add them. 1 plus 1 is 2. Here I have y to the 1 times y to the 2. That gives me y to the 3. How do I know? Because I do 1 plus 2, right? So that's the first multiplication. Now I have to do this one. Now I have a -5, and what's over there? A -1. So -5 times -1 is +5. I have x to the 2 times x to the 1. That gives me x to the 3. Well, what do you do with the y? It goes along to the right. I don't have a y here to multiply by that y. So the y just gets multiplied by the whole thing, and it stays there. Now I have to do the n. I have 3 times 1, the invisible 1, is 3. I have x times x is x squared. I have y1 times y2, that's y3. Done. X times x, y times y2. Now here, I have 3 times 2 is 6. X times x squared is x to the 3rd. And then y, well, he goes along for the ride. And there you go. That's just the multiplication part. You have to be very careful with the numbers, the powers, and the signs. Take your time when you do the distributing so you don't screw it up. Slow, careful, x and x, y and y, so you're really slow. Now, I have to look for creatures that look the same. These don't look the same, but they have x and y. This is x to the 2. This is x to the 3. These are different creatures. I'm looking for a creature that has x2, y3. Oof, at least I have one. You know, you better hope that you have one to combine it with. If you don't get one to combine it with, you screwed it up. I rigged the question so that you'll get things that go together. You'll get like creatures. These are like creatures. And then again, here I have the x3y creature, and I have more x3y creature. So I'm going to put together the creatures that look the same. I have 7 of the x2, y3 thing, and then I got 3 more of them. So I have 10 of the x2, y3 thing. You don't get a different thing here. If I had, 7 dogs and 3 dogs, I have 10 dogs. I don't have all of a sudden 10 cats or something different. When you're adding and subtracting the creature, the letters and the powers do not, this is really important, don't change the powers. You're like, oh, this is going to be x4, y6. Don't do weird crap. Add them the way you see them. They don't change. I have 5 x3y's and 6 x3y's. That gives me 11 x3y's. I don't have a different creature. And don't do anything weird and dumbass and say, oh, I'm going to put them together. I have 21 x5, y4. What the kind of nonsense is that? These are completely different creatures. You cannot combine them together. It's like if you had $10 and 11 apples. What, you have 21 apples? You have apple dollars? You can't combine these things into one. You have to stop here. These are not like terms. Even though the letters are the same, the powers are different. So cannot combine. You stop, all right? This is a much more complex problem. You have to go slow when you do this one. Don't do it fast because you will make mistakes. All right, so take your time, watch your signs, and combine. So example number 3, I have been asked to do another one. So there's a lot going on here and a lot of powers. So first you multiply. This is not 4 take away 3. This is 4 times negative 3. So 4 times 3 is 12, and I have a positive times a negative, so I get negative 12. Now you have x to the 2 times x to the 1. That gives me x3. Add the powers. y3, y1 makes y4. Yay! Okay. Now I have 2 different things here. You see that plus? This is one term, y. There's no pluses and minuses separating the letters. Here, I have a plus, so I have to do 7 times this thing first. So you do negative 7 times 1, which is negative 7. Then I have x3, y4. What do you do with them? Nothing. They go along for the ride. They have to stay there. Then I'm going to do negative 7 times positive 2, which gives me negative 14. So I missed. Let's make it better. I didn't make it better. I made it worse. 4. So now, again, you have to multiply this by this. This is not 2 terms. This is not 3 terms. This is a single term. So I have to do positive 3 times negative 4, which is negative 12. I have to do x1 times x2, which is x3. y1 times y3, which is y4. And then I have a positive 11 sitting there and hanging out and wondering what to do with itself. Now, the cool thing is I have the numbers. But if you look, they're all x3, y4, x3, y4, x3, y4, x3, y4. So they're all the same creature. So I can just combine them all. Now you gotta be careful. I have a negative 12, a negative 7, and a negative 12. They all have the same sign. So what do? You add them together. So let's see, this is 24. 24 and 7 is 31. So when I add, you owe me 12, then you owe me 7, then you owe me 12. Well, you owe me 31 altogether. Right? 12 and 12 is 24. 24 and 7 is 31. All addition. Add the numbers, keep the sign. And then x3, y4, that's the dude you had. This doesn't change. So I used up him. So who do I have left? The minus 14. You owe me $14. You pay me 11. Now you owe me 3. Don't try and do weird shit with this. Okay? Somebody, like, for instance, if you get an answer like this, this is your answer. First, you cannot add these, okay? You can't combine these together. This is $3 and 2 apples. This doesn't combine. What I don't want you to do is say, oh, they have a common letter. I can factor out an A. Look, I can factor out the A. Don't do this, all right? Don't do any factoring. This is not a topic we've covered yet, so I don't want you doing this. You're gonna stop right here. There's nothing else you can do. These don't combine, and certainly, even if they had a letter in common, I don't want you to do any factoring at this point, okay?